who was accused of selling nude photographs of two teenagers. Let go from the Giddings State School in Lee County 2 years ago.
Inside a Central Texas high school while under investigation for sexual misconduct.
Our job is to expose those cracks and then to fix those cracks.
Texas lawmakers demanded a search engine to warn schools and other child welfare agencies of state workers fired or reprimanded for misconduct. That do not hire search engine would pull thousands of disciplinary records from 4 state agencies. However, investigator Kelly Wiley found the lawmakers did not appropriate enough funding, and under current plans, critical information is still missing.
Megan Tabor never imagined her family would fracture.
No, not at all. Not in a million years.
Last year, a Lampasas jury convicted her ex-husband, Casey Calvary, of sexually abusing a child in their family.
Just makes me sad.
A court filing brought to light a history of misconduct allegations stretching far beyond their household and highlighting systemic issues with how the state vets people who work around children. The record showed the Longview Fire Department forced Calvary to resign from his job as a firefighter in 2006 after a coworker accused him of touching her breast. Less than a year later, the Copperas Cove Fire Department terminated Calvary after he admitted he groped a patient in the back of an ambulance. The Texas Health and Human Services Commission put an emergency suspension on his EMT license. The local paper even wrote an article about the incident.
You Google his name and that was the first thing that popped up.
But court and personnel records show Calvary continued getting jobs that put him in direct contact with vulnerable people, even children, as a group supervisor in 2012 at a youth residential facility in Goldwaith. Later that year, after he and Tabor divorced, he worked as a teacher at a string of schools, including Ector County ISD, where in 2020, a young student came forward to report Calvary abused her. The Ector district attorney said a grand jury ultimately decided not to indict him on that allegation. But it was the catalyst for Tabor's family member going to the police about her own abuse.
She knew that she had to come forward. She had to do whatever she could to keep him from continuing.
Calvary did not respond to the letter we sent him in prison. His attorneys also didn't respond to several emails and calls.
It's very disturbing that someone can go from place to place.
Texas Senator Lois Kolkhorst authored Senate Bill 1849 in 2023 to help state agencies and schools see the red flags in job candidates like Calvary. The measure passed into law, requiring a single search engine to connect 4 do not hire registries from the Texas Education Agency, Juvenile Justice Department, Health and Human Services, and the Department of Family and Protective Services. It would put all of those agencies' notes on misconduct in one place where schools and child welfare employers can check.
We're going to build databases. We're going to give tools to our agencies and to our school districts.
But we found even with this new law, there are still cracks in the system, like some missing misconduct records that could help employers decide who should be around kids. Disciplinary records on law enforcement officers won't be in the search engine. Neither will HHSC's licensing data, which for a time was the only state database that noted Calvary's misconduct, his license suspension as an EMT.
Would that kind of data be something that needs to be in this database?
Warning. Yeah, that would be something that could be included for sure. But now, you're kind of looking at now we're going to spread 1849 out.
But before any expansion, at least one agency says the legislature needs to invest more funding and resources next session just to operationalize the search engine, meaning until then, it won't be up and running at all. How much are they saying they need to be able to make the search engine operational?
Yeah, I think that the estimate was, it'll be somewhere between 17 and 23 million. Got the seed money of 7 million.
Why not try to fully fund it as much as you can when the bill was first passed?
I think I put that request in. So in the end, the final budget writers have to make decisions. And I know that they both, all of us have a commitment. I believe Senate Bill 1849 was unanimous, and it will be funded, and it will be fully funded and operational.
This is the house in Longview that the abuse actually started in.
For Tabor's family, the changes won't repair the damage already done.
There's no way.
But she hopes they will prevent heartache for others in the future.
You have to make the decision that will maybe protect other kids down the road.
Following our initial report, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick charged lawmakers to find ways to improve the search engine before the next legislative session in 2025. Senator Kolkhorst and Senator Paul Betancourt from our last story both say they do plan to introduce a bill in January requiring school districts to report contractors who are accused of misconduct to the state. That promise came after we uncovered a former juvenile corrections officer was able to get a contracted tutoring job at Austin ISD while under investigation by the Juvenile Justice Department for sexual misconduct. Kelly Wiley, State of Texas.
Thank you, Kelly. For a timeline of when this search engine is expected to be completed and to find out who will have access to it first, check out this report on our website in this week's State of Texas story. New support is coming for Texas communities desperate for mental health professionals. Just how far $34 million will go and who it will help